Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to another Back to Basics stream. Today we are going to discuss you. We're going to discuss your questions, whatever it is that you want. A huge shout out to Jenai, who gave me the introduction music for this stream. I have linked his Instagram handle and his YouTube handle in the description. You can go check it out. A very warm welcome to everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Aryan Kohli, welcome. Prabjot, Kid Doctor, Newt, Saket, Nikshant, Vemu Balan, welcome. I hope that I'm audible, visible. I hope everything is looking good and you're all excited. Vibhor Garg, welcome. Namaste, Broken Tooth. Harshad, Ankit, Aditya, Ash, welcome. Oh, there are already some questions. Excellent. Today's going to be all about your questions. Yash Bhargava, welcome. Ram Krishna. Missed your streams, Prabjot. I miss doing them, man. Have you seen Don't Look Up on Netflix? Not yet. List पे है. But भाई बहुत ज़्यादा है. Like there is a lot to catch up on. There is a lot to catch up on, and I think ठीक है. Let's take it easily. Namaskar, sir. Kunal, welcome. Shruti Singh, hey. What is up? What is up? How are you guys doing? How was your weekend? Did anybody do anything fun? I just came seeing Spider-Man No Way Home. Kick-ass movie. Loved it. No Way Home के से बाहर आए हैं. Okay. Yeah, I just saw it. Unfortunately, I had access to a few spoilers before. So I feel like somebody who had gone in with zero information about what was going to happen would actually get their mind blown. But I really enjoyed it. I like Spider-Man. So Spider-Man has been my favorite cartoon character, my favorite comic book hero since I was a kid. I used to love sketching Spider-Man, and I read all their comic books. I saw all their animated TV series. So I really enjoyed it. What have you been doing? Did anybody do anything fun this weekend? Nothing fun, not in a mood to get out. It's raining in New Delhi. What? Man, New Delhi is so confused. It's raining in New Delhi. Okay. All right. I mean, do you wear a raincoat? Do you wear a jacket? What do you do? Neuroscience of Spider-Man. Please, Aryan. Hey, wait a minute. That's interesting. That's what happens every time somebody asks me to do neuroscience of anything. पहले में लगता है कि यार ये क्या बकवास टॉपिक है, इसमें क्या neuroscience होगा. And then I start thinking about it and I think, damn, the kind of balance that you require to be Spider-Man, his cerebellum must be all over the place. His cerebellum must be so in tune to be able to know where to swing, to know how to stick, to know. Interesting. Neuroscience of Spider-Man कर सकते हैं. Party की रात को. Bhai, I am done with parties. I have realized that once you cross 32, it's quite okay to say that maybe I can say no to a couple of parties. I don't need to go for every party that I'm invited to. So I think I have reached that stage. And I'm so glad. How was your Maheshwar take? Saket, it was beautiful. Maheshwar is an incredible place. I really loved it. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. This is the first time I'm visiting Madhya Pradesh. How many of you are from MP, by the way? Shout out to your state, man. I really loved it. I have never been to MP before, and I thought, damn, it was a surprise. It was a pleasant surprise. The same thing happened to me when I went to Lucknow. I think जो लोग दिल्ली बॉम्बे में रहते हैं ना, उनको ऐसा लगता है कि इसके बाहर इंडिया में ज़्यादा कुछ है नहीं. सिर्फ सुना हुआ है, but you need to travel to see how beautiful this country is and how amazing the people are. So I really enjoyed it. Like 3 years in Lucknow, I was so glad that I didn't even give the Maharashtra CT exam. I don't know if you guys know this. if there are any NEET students, if there are any medical students here, you would know that we have to give an exam after my post graduation, after graduation, for our super specialty, we have to keep giving exams. And when I was giving exams, मेरा state और national exam अलग थे, and मैंने state exam दिया ही नहीं, because I was thinking कि अगर गलती से मिल गया, then I can't say no, I can't turn it down, and I really wanted to get out of Maharashtra. Kerala, God's own country. Nimish is saying audio problem. Can anybody else confirm? आवाज आ रही है? निमिश, अभी तक और किसी ने अगर नहीं बोला है, then it's probably on your side, man. Because everybody else seems to be listening to me quite easily. NEET UG, NEET PG, NEET SS, man, it's just NEET. But मेरा NEET नहीं था. I'm so glad. I feel like I just got out of it in time. And full sympathy to all the medical students out there who are still going through this. I'm glad I'm done with it. Never been to beach, Srivatsa, bhai. Okay. I have always been a beach person. Always. If I could, I would just go to a beach. Whether it is Andaman or Goa, wherever. All my foreign trips, I would always plan it so that you end up near the beach at some point. Anurag has been asking me this question for a while. Anurag, let's take your question as the first one. How to wake up early? Or like how to make yourself not lazy or disciplined? The answer is in the question itself. Discipline. Waking up early is a difficult decision that your brain has to be convinced it needs to do. If your brain is not convinced that it has to wake up early, you will always feel like it is a stupid thing. It is a waste of your energy. Of course, it is comfortable to lie in your blanket and wake up at 9:30, 10 o'clock. Why should you wake up early? बाकी लोग बोल रहे हैं, इसके ये कारण नहीं होता जल्दी उठने का. You have to be convinced that you have to wake up early. And the only way that you can do that is by pointing out to your brain the advantages. And you won't know the advantages until you do it. So this is a catch-22. Everybody I know who has been waking up early for a month has stuck with it because the advantages very, very clearly present themselves. So the only way to do it, unfortunately, is to start doing it. There are certain things that you can do to make it easier for yourself, which is go backwards, reverse engineer. If your life's goal is to wake up early, then make sure that you're doing everything you can that you are in bed by 11 p.m. max. That is the first thing that you have to do because you cannot compromise on your sleep. So you have to reverse engineer it all the way. So if you have to wake up at 6, then you have to sleep by 11. And if you have to sleep by 11, then you have to have dinner before 8:39. And that is how you reverse engineer. And you make sure that you are making that nighttime plans proper, and automatically you will start waking up earlier. I will be doing one thing to help you all wake up earlier in 2022. I'll be conducting some morning sessions. So I'll be conducting some morning sessions on Instagram, probably on Discord. So if there are people amongst you who want to wake up early, then I would be able to help you next year. Is 7 hours sleep enough? So this is abstract and there is no absolute marker. But in my opinion, once you have crossed the age of 24, 25, 6 to 7 hours every day is enough. You can train your mind and your body to perform very, very well with 6 to 7 hours. If you are used to 8 hours and you have a problem, if you sleep less and you have trouble concentrating, then of course stick to it. Don't change. But during my CET exams, I was functioning on 4.5 hours for a year. An entire year, 4.5. It was very strict. But that was definitely not recommended. I would definitely not tell anybody to do that. And that was for a very specific cause. And as soon as I got the rank, after that, I stopped doing it. And during my first year entrance exam, first year residency, basically there was no sleep. Kuch tha hi nahi. But since then, I have been kind of fixed on a 7-hour sleep cycle. Let's start Bhagavad Gita again in 2022. How many of you have attended or seen my Bhagavad Gita videos? Anyone? I don't think any of you guys have attended the session when it was live. I don't remember seeing you guys. Saket maybe. I think Saket was there. But not. Oh, Sonak was there? Really? Brilliant. Anupriya Ghosh. I always hesitate to do things I'm even a little afraid of. Tushar, that is absolutely fine. In fact, I love it when I'm hesitant to do things because it means that I have reached my end of my comfort zone. If you don't feel uncomfortable ever, then how would you ever know what is new? So discomfort is your mind's way of telling you ki, acha bhai sun, this is something new. You have not done this before. So pay a little attention. That is all that discomfort is. Don't think it is anything more. Discomfort is your mind telling you to be a little bit careful because this is new. So I love it when something is a little uncomfortable. It is when it is very uncomfortable that it's a problem. Please do a podcast with Kunal Shah. Nitin, you have not been on my YouTube channel, I think. I have done a wonderful 1.5 hour podcast with Kunal Shah. In fact, I'm planning to do another one. But please go and see my earlier podcast. Please do. Next question. What do you think about melatonin to get to the right schedule? Melatonin is a promising drug. The concept of melatonin is that it is a natural hormone and it helps in regulating your sleep cycle. Melatonin is not a sleeping pill. It is not a sleeping medicine. It is not like benzodiazepines that actually puts you to sleep. Melatonin modulates your sleep. So it helps in dipping the scales of your consciousness towards sleep. So in the brain, the way it is wired is that awake state and sleep state is like a seesaw. And there are some hormones that make you awake and there are some hormones that put you to sleep. And so melatonin helps in turning that entire seesaw towards the sleep side. Now, what happens is that if you take melatonin and then you go out to party, it's not going to have any effect. So when you're taking melatonin, one of the things you have to do is to make sure that the environment is conducive to sleep. So one thing that I advise my patients who require it is that you switch off your lights, you don't look at your phone after that, do not give any extra impulses to your brain, and you try and create that environment that is conducive to sleep, and that helps the drug act better. It is a decent drug with decent results. I would not say that all my patients have had benefit, but some of them have had it. I would definitely not recommend anybody directly go and buy melatonin and try it, because it is very important if you're having sleep difficulties to speak to your doctor to find out why you have sleep difficulty. It is not normal to have sleep difficulty. So diagnosis is everything. Once you diagnose the problem, then treatment is easy. Pronit Das, waiting on part 1 of Neuroscience of Time. All right. I'm going to promise you guys, I will do it in Jan. I promise you guys, I will do Neuroscience of Time in Jan. All right. 140 people are listening. थोड़ा स्लो मोड कर दो और स्लो कर दो. स्लो मोड करे तो स्लो मोड कर सकते हैं वैसे. एक सेकंड रुक. I'll put like a 10 second. I thought slow mode था. स्लो मोड है यार. 10 सेकंड का स्लो मोड है. It's fine. इतना ठीक है. इतना ठीक है ना. Ashwin Kishore is asking, what is the science behind people watching a what is the science behind people watching a show like Squid Game and loving it so much? Squid Game has everything that somebody would want to see to get entertained. It has drama, it has anxiety, it has people dying, it has uncertainty. If I have to sum it up, it is watching uncertainty. Nothing makes you more anxious than uncertainty, but nothing hooks your attention more than uncertainty. So, if you're watching people's lives being decided in an uncertain way, you are going to watch because your brain thinks that it could be happening to you. But at the same time, you are safe in the knowledge that it is not happening to you. So, in a way, it is the perfect solution. You're watching somebody else go through their uncertainty, you are learning from that uncertainty, and you are safe. So, Squid Game is a great example of how uncertainty can keep your attention hooked. And this is being used in advertisements a lot. People are using the principle of uncertainty, knowing that uncertainty will catch you, it will get your attention. So, don't give away all the information. Leave something hanging, and people will want to know what that last thing is. Vibhor is asked how to get a consultation with you. Vibhor, you can have, there are two options. One is you can visit my website, which is sidwarrior.com. The other is you could email me at contact@sidwarrior.com and I can send you a link. I do online consultations twice a week. How to deal with loneliness. I recently saw a video on how loneliness is the new epidemic of our species. And there are a couple of things that I've felt about loneliness. One, it is universal. So if you have ever felt lonely, know that it is not just you. Know that all of us have felt lonely at different times. But two things. One, we have all gotten very good at hiding it. And two, we feel different levels of loneliness at different times. And so when you look around you, you may not feel that other people are also lonely at that time. They may be less lonely at that time and they may be better at hiding it. And so we feel that we are the only one. And that is probably how it starts off. And one of the things about loneliness is that it is a self sustaining psychological state. So once you are lonely, your brain is more likely to convince itself that other people are having fun without you. And so when you look around and you have people around you seemingly happier, you will convince yourself that, see, I knew it. The thing that I was afraid of has come true. People around me are having fun while I'm the only one who is lonely. And so I should just stop bothering them. And so a lonely person might get a phone call from a friend कि अरे दोस्त क्या कर रहा है, आना है क्या, बाहर चलते हैं, घूमते हैं, ड्राइव पे जाते हैं. And you would say that नहीं यार रहने दे, आज मूड नहीं है, because you are already caught up in that belief that they don't need you, they are perfectly fine without you. And that is a very dangerous situation, that lie that we create, that story that we create. And that is the real danger in loneliness. So the way to get out of it sometimes would require therapy, because loneliness could very often lead into more serious mental problems like depression. So the solution may require therapy, but if it hasn't reached at that stage, then the way out is awareness, knowing that other people are going through this and opening up and communicating with people, just sharing it out. And it has to, we have to be self aware about this all the time. Can you suggest some books on neuroscience to start with? Here are a few books that I would recommend. Check out David Eagleman. He's a neuroscientist and he has written some excellent books. Live Wired is a good book. Check out Oliver Sacks. He's a neurologist and he uses really amusing stories of his patients to explain what the brain is, explain what the brain does. So he makes it quite easily understandable. And there is a book that I recently got. Hold on. So, this is a book that I recently got. We know it when we see it. And I've been reading it for the last couple of days, and it is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It talks about the neurobiology of vision, and I am blown away by it. So, if you are interested, then you should definitely check it out. Should we take our emotions seriously? Tushar Patel. I feel we should absolutely take our emotions seriously. Because if you don't, who will? Nobody else really cares about your emotion. You are the only one. But it is kind of like asking, if you are a CEO of a company, then should you take your second assistant manager's opinion seriously? Well, of course, you should take it seriously, but then they are not the boss of the company, you are. So take the opinion of your emotions, respect the opinion of your emotions, but do not let your emotions call the shots. Because if they're calling the shots, then what are you there for? So that is the difference. You are the CEO. They have a they have a job in your company. My moderator is telling me to reduce the chat speed, so I will be changing it to 20 seconds. I think 20 seconds makes sense. 20 seconds. Cool. Professor, is this all real or is just happening in my head? Explore this question. Abhinav Segal. So Dumbledore gave a pretty good answer. The whole book of the seventh book of Harry Potter, Dumbledore gave a at the end of the story. This what happens. Harry and Dumbledore are at an imaginary King's Cross station, and they are dealing with Voldemort, who is in the shape of a small baby. And Dumbledore is explaining to Harry how all of it went down. And Harry is not sure. Harry thinks that he has died. But at the end of it, Dumbledore seems to suggest that it's not true. He is not dead. So Harry asks that, is it all real or is it all in my head? And Dumbledore says that it's all in your head, but why would you think that makes it not real? And I thought about that a lot because the more neuroscience you read, my friends, trust me, the more neuroscience you read, the more you realize that reality is subjective. You cannot escape it. You cannot escape the subjective nature of reality, and all studies prove it. So, when Bhagavad Gita says Sab Moh Maya hai, the line has so much truth to it, it's not funny. Sab kuch moh maya hai, that is the truth. But then the really interesting question is, then what? What comes after that? And that is what I'm thinking of. Dharma. The reason that dharma, or the focus on action, is so important is that eventually everybody will realize that none of this makes sense. None of this is real. It's all in my head. Right? And when you're a kid growing up, you might think that that is a huge realization. I had that moment. Oh man, nothing is real. This is all just in my head. This is all just happening. But that is not the end of the story. The story continues, because just because it's in your head doesn't mean that you don't do stuff. Doesn't mean that you don't follow your dreams. Doesn't mean that you don't work hard. Doesn't mean that you don't love your family. Doesn't mean that you don't wake up and exercise and eat healthy. All of that has to be done knowing that reality is in your head. And the only question that remains is why. Why should you do all this? And that is a discussion for another day. Everyone has their own version of reality, Tushar Patel. Very, very true. How to be creative in a pressurized situation as a job interview. The simplest way to think about a job interview is that, would you hire you? At the end of the day, you know what the business is, you know what they want. think about it from their perspective and look at yourself and ask yourself, would you hire you? I've only given a couple of job interviews, and both of them were for corporate hospitals. And I had walked in knowing that, of course, they'll hire me, because why wouldn't they? Like, I had everything it takes. But the concept is that you need to get to a situation where they will hire you, and you have to walk in knowing that they will hire you. And after that, if they don't, it is their mistake, it's their loss. But never go in thinking that you are less than what is required, because then you're already on the back foot. And this is something I really believe, because, and the reason I believe this is because there is only one thing that an employer is actually looking for, is that do you have the confidence and the capacity to learn? That is it. If you have the confidence and the capacity to learn, then you would get hired, because they would see you and they would know that whatever this guy's qualifications are, he comes into my company and he will learn everything, and he will learn it quicker than anybody else. So this person will learn the culture of the company. This person will learn how to make things work with other people. All of that is learning to learn, basically. So the more CEOs I talk to about marketing and about what makes a good hire, everybody says the same thing. They have to be smart enough to learn, because we know that our education system would not have prepared you exactly the way somebody would want. So the one thing that they're looking for is, are you capable of learning? So you need to go in with that confidence that I am capable of learning. You teach me and I will learn. That should be the attitude. You teach me and I will learn, and I will learn it quicker than anyone else. What is your opinion on Omicron and impending doom? So Omicron is not impending doom, all right? I very recently saw a clip. Somebody had sent me a YouTube link of a discussion that I and Varun Maya had in May of 2021. It was, I believe, the second or third trifecta, and the two of us were talking, and we basically predicted the whole thing. So I'll be putting out that video in a couple of days, but we basically predicted the whole thing. What's going to happen? What is going to happen with the variants? What is going to happen with the vaccines? What is going to happen with the boosters? We basically predicted the next 12 months. So it's pretty obvious now what's going to happen, right? I'm going to repeat it again. COVID will become more and more like a flu. We will keep on having variants, because that is how influenza viruses work. Hopefully the virulence of each variant is going to constantly get lesser and lesser, because it is in the virus's own self-interest to become less virulent and more infective. So understand the difference between virulence and infectivity. Infectivity means that if I have COVID and I walk into a room with 100 people, all 100 people will get it. That means that the virus is extremely infective. But if it is extremely virulent, or if it is extremely lethal, then that means that I will give it to 5 people and all those 5 people will die. But if those 5 people will die, then that means that the virus cannot transmit. That virus will die with that person. So a smart virus would have more infectivity and less lethality. And that is what we are seeing. It seems like the new variants are less lethal. Touch wood. I hope that that continues. And the things that we have to do don't change. We still have to wear a mask when you are in public. We still have to definitely get vaccines. We definitely need boosters. And the thing is that every booster should give us protection against the latest viruses. That's all we need. Latest variant का protection आना चाहिए latest booster में. And every 6 to 8 months we need a booster. Unfortunately, that is the way that our life is going to go. For the perceivable future, we will need boosters, and probably we will have vaccine passes. Like you will see vaccine का date मिला है, तो पिछले 6 महीने में तुमको vaccine मिला है कि नहीं. That is going to be the pass, and that is what they will check in air travel, in whatever, outside malls and theaters, they will check कि अच्छा पिछले 6 महीने में अगर वैक्सीन नहीं मिला है तो आपको एंट्री नहीं है. That is something like what is going to happen. Now the problem is in India we don't have the infrastructure to give vaccines to people every 6 months, and that's why they may not enforce it because we don't have the capacity. But ideally, that is what should happen. Hey Sid, watched your trifecta video. You were right, man. Hey Harsh. I was somebody sent me that link actually. I'd forgotten that Varun and I had spoken about it, but I went back and I saw it, and it was exactly what happened. How to deal with breakup? Give your suggestion. The way to deal with a breakup is in stages. And don't quote me on this. This is absolutely a personal opinion. Everybody deals with breakup in their own way, but I believe that step one to dealing with a breakup is to grieve. Do not directly jump to अरे क्या फर्क पड़ता है. If you've had a relationship and you cared about someone and that relationship ended for whatever reason, if something has ended, I feel that you should grieve. You should have that moment where you are sad, and you should allow yourself to be sad, because it is important to acknowledge things. Like somebody just asked, do you pay attention to your emotions? Should you give importance to your emotions? Yes. I feel that everything has its own place, and if you are sad, be sad. If you want to cry, cry. Don't hold yourself back. Don't think that crying is not manly, or crying is weak, and bullshit. Everything is bullshit. Your brain needs to do certain things. Allow it to happen, right? Be in flow. Feel what you are feeling. But after that, like once you have given space to that sadness, and like Pragya said, cry and write about it. Writing about it is a great way, because then you have to step back and you have to look at that sadness. Now you're not feeling sad. Now you are looking at the sadness, and now you're analyzing the sadness. And that is where art comes in. Art is brilliant at dealing with breakups. Many people write their first poem after they have broken up. This is true. I'm sure there will be people in the audience right now who must have written a poem first time when they've had a breakup. I've written a poem when I've had a breakup, and that's beautiful. It's you surprise yourself, because you didn't think that you were capable of emotions like that, and that is amazing. So that's what you need to do. You need to step back, and you need to analyze that sadness, analyze your anger, or whatever it is that you're feeling, analyze it. And once you've analyzed that, now you can take another step back and understand how that breakup played a role in your life. And this requires time, because unfortunately, you cannot get a big picture if you're standing very close. That's just the way physics works. You need to allow some time to go before you are sufficiently zoomed out, and then you see the role that the breakup played in your life, and how that breakup actually made you understand yourself better, and it had a role to play in how you are shaped as a person. And so in the end, you feel gratitude. Believe it or not, in the end, you feel gratitude for whatever that experience has taught you. You feel gratitude for your relationship. You feel gratitude for the wonderful times that the two of you spent together. And you understand that the breakup happened because it had to happen. And you are just grateful that you were able to learn from it. That is healing. That is closure. And you have no hate towards that person. It's very important. If you're still angry, if you're still hurting, if you're still thinking, I'll block that person, or I won't look at that person, and all that, then I mean, you are not there yet. It's fine. You don't have to be there, but eventually you will just be grateful for the whole thing, for that person, and you want them to do well. You want them to be happy. You want them to, have a wonderful life, because you want everybody to have a wonderful life, and that person is not negatively special, if you understand. You could care about them. So I feel that's the stages of a breakup. And again, this is just something that I feel. Tell me if you have a different order in which you deal with a breakup. But yeah. What is your idea about God and religion? I think we've spoken about this before, haven't we? We've spoken about this before. God and religion तो हमने बहुत बात किया है यार, बार बार नहीं बोलना है. It has its place. I'll just say that. It has its place. We cannot remove pillars from a building without fully understanding why that pillar was built in the first place. That's what I'll say. So, anybody who is an atheist, remember that completely dismantling a pillar without fully understanding the architecture of the house that you're living in is foolish. So don't break down pillars that you don't know what they do. So yeah, religion and God has their place in our world. How to get over one-sided love. It's like saying how to stop playing one-sided table tennis. Just stop playing. I mean, clearly you're playing it because you're having fun. And clearly you think that the wall that you're playing with is, returning your shots. But at some point you'll just get bored and you'll be like, bhai, isse acha to main PlayStation khelu. And you just move on. You move on to a different game. So yeah, stop playing with yourself. Oh, damn. Chat. Why do you do this? Breakup is simply an investment, Yash is saying. How to deal with depression due to hair fall. Oh, damn. I shouldn't laugh. I, of all people, shouldn't laugh. But put it this way. If hair fall is the worst problem you have in life, you have a very good life. if the biggest problem in your life is that a vestigial organ is not functioning well, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, of all the vestigial organs, like your appendix could be giving you a problem. That's also a vestigial organ, but that you need to have surgery. At least hair is nice enough to just fall off without disturbing you. Like, that is so considerate. An appendix would never do that. An appendix would get inflamed and it'll give you pain and it might give you sepsis and you might die. I mean, fucking vestigial organ. If you're vestigial, then just go away, right? No. Operate me. Remove me. At least hair has the decency to just like, okay, I'm out. Clearly you don't need me. See you later. So yeah. Let it go, man. Let it go. Just listen to Frozen ka Let It Go every day and think about your hair and just let it go. It's fine. How to stop consuming content. It would be very ironic if I sit here in a live stream and talk about how to stop consuming content. So I'm not going to do that. One of the best answer of hair fall. You might not know this, but I have dealt with hair loss. I have dealt with it. I know you don't think so, but I have had my share of thinking about hair loss and what is this life and what is genetics, what is this. I look at pictures of my dad, my grandfather, my great grandfather, and I immediately know कि मेरा कोई chance ही नहीं है. Like there's no chance. Genetics, I can't fight genetics. And so what do I have? Well, I have everything else. Sean is saying, I'm attached to my cat. I'm afraid that one day she will die and leave me. Oof. Yeah. Mortality is the biggest problem, Sean. I'm not going to lie to you. Mortality is the biggest problem. It is the final problem. If you have dealt with mortality in your mind, if you have cracked the mortality code, you have cracked life. And how ironic is that? If you have cracked death, then you've cracked life. If you've understood death, because everything that you do in life is to avoid death. And I know that you weren't expecting such a dark answer, you just wanted to talk about your cat. But the cat is a metaphor for all of us. We are all your cat, Sean. And someday we are all going to die. And that is the truth. So we say this, right? We say it intellectually. अभी हम लोग YouTube में बात कर रहे हैं. We are chilling. We are drinking water. We've had a good dinner. So words are one thing. I mean, we are all going to die. Sure. We've all said it at some point of time, right? When you say YOLO, what does YOLO mean? You live only once. What does that mean? It means we are going to die, isn't it? But it's one thing for your prefrontal cortex to say it, but it's another thing for your limbic system to feel it. And the minute, or no, the microsecond that your limbic system feels that you're anywhere close to death, the whole thing changes. You and I cannot be having this conversation. If either one of us thinks that we are close to death, we won't be having this conversation. It is going to be panicking. It's going to be having like an anxiety attack. Every time you have an anxiety attack, it is your limbic system thinking that you will die. So when you think about mortality, anyone's mortality, your own, your family, your loved ones, your pets, you cannot think of mortality without thinking about your own, the transient nature of your own life. And from there to philosophy, from there to existentialism, from there to spirituality, it is just one after the other, right? So you just asked about your cat, and now we are thinking, what is the meaning of the universe and why are we here? And that's the way it goes. You cannot avoid it. The only way is circling back all the way to the start, what I said, sab moh maya hai, enjoy the present. Live in the moment, enjoy the present, enjoy the time with your cat, cherish those moments. I'm sure she's lovely. Have fun. Have fun, be a good person, and you'll find that things are okay. Aryan Kohli is on a mission. I love him, man. Like, let's get to 180 likes. Okay, guys, for Aryan, let's just get to 180 likes. Can we do that? Can we get to 180 likes, please? Thank you. Thank you. You guys are very sweet. Isn't that what Stoic says? Absolutely. Stoicism is at the bottom of a lot of good things we have in life. You might not realize this, but most of therapy is basically just stoicism. It is trying to make you understand that yahi hai life, and we have to find inner strength. That's what stoicism says. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. That's what therapy says. But it's just that we approach it from different angles. The only thing that is lacking in stoicism is, I feel, oh, we are at 186, make it 200. The only thing we have that I feel is lacking in stoicism is empathy. So that is what we should incorporate from therapy. Therapy has empathy. Therapy has understanding. Stoicism has understanding minus that extreme level of patience. So we should definitely incorporate empathy, but empathy without stoicism, I feel, is not effective. And this is something I'm realizing now. After getting into a few arguments on Twitter, I've realized that people often turn to empathy because they have no knowledge to offer. Like, they have nothing substantial to offer. And so empathy is an easy way to make them feel good. Like, oh, I'm empathetic. Sure, empathy is great. But after that, what? Where is your substance? So just saying that, no, we should be kind to everybody. generic empathy, I feel, doesn't really get you anywhere. How to choose a right partner for yourself? Priyanshu Agarwal, excellent question. How many of you are single here? How many of you are looking? I mean, you could be single and not looking. Is there such a thing? It could. Is there any single person here who is not interested in finding, as they say, a right partner? I'm single, not looking. Rahul Sharma, full kudos to you, man. All more power to you. Perpetually single. सिंगल नॉट लो अभी तो भाई सब लोग सिंगल नॉट लुकिंग बोल रहे हैं बिकॉज इट्स कूल सिंगल नॉट लुकिंग रियली इंटरेस्टिंग totally not me. So I read a recently a interesting article about the 37% rule. Have you heard of it? The 37% rule. Wait, let me see if I can Google it and see if मिल रहा है क्या. Okay, wait. I'll share the screen. Hold on. Transition. Okay. 37% rule. All right. Can you see it? Not single, but still looking. We have 200 likes. Excellent. Don't try. Why do they demotivate so much to date in NEET G prep? Oh, demotivate. Guys, okay, you don't even know what demotivation is. When I was preparing for my CET exam, my biology professor caught me walking in Bombay, walking in Parla with my then girlfriend, and he actually called up my parents. He actually called up my dad and said that your kid is not going to crack CET, your kid is not going to get a rank because भाई ये तो मतलब एंजॉय कर रहा है, ये तो टाइम पास कर रहा है, ये तो मैकडोनल्ड्स पे बैठा है लड़की के साथ, ये तो चिल मार रहा है, ये पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहा है एंड इसको कोई रैंक वैंक नहीं मिलने वाला है. And he called me to his office. He took my phone. He opened my phone. He read messages of good morning, good night, and said, "What is all this?" Damn. Looking back, it was क्या ही traumatic behavior है यार. But all's well that ends well. Got a rank. Married that girl. So just goes to show that ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. You can date, of course. If you like somebody, please talk to them. Please acknowledge your feelings and study because you want to, right? Crack CETs because you want to. There is nothing like that. There is no such rule that if you date you can't crack and all. None of that. It's all about you. It's all about your capability and how aware you are of your own capability. If you feel like you are somebody who might get distracted and you cannot put in your 12 hours of studying, then please don't date because you know it. Don't wait for anybody else to tell you, right? So you should know yourself and you should also know your priorities. If your priority is to crack an entrance exam and if small other things will end up distracting you, say no. There is no such thing as the one person. There's no such thing as ये नहीं मिली तो मेरा life बर्बाद हो गया. Like nothing like that. All right. There are so many people in this world. Love is something that keeps happening. At some point, you decide who you want to be with, but you also decide who you want to be as a person. So there is no wrong answer here. But coming to that, coming to the 37% rule, can you see this? The 37% rule says that you don't wait. Hold on. Let me Let me expand this a little bit and take it here. All right. The 37% rule, can you see it? Says that you need to screen a range of options in a limited amount of time, be they candidates for a job, new apartments, or potential romantic partners. The best time to make a decision is when you have looked at 37% of these options. So what they say is, suppose you have a dating pool of 100 people. Will you look at all 100 people? Will you try and date all 100 people before realizing who's the person you want to be with? Mathematically, it is sensible, according to this rule, to date 37% of the people, find out who is the best person that you liked, and then from 38 onwards, find the best person who is better than the first 37. Now, this especially works when you're hiring somebody. And this is something that I recently read. So I'm still thinking about it, but it's an interesting way to think about it. That if you're hiring someone and you have 100 candidates, see the first 37, figure out who is the best of them, and then interview the rest. And the first person that you find who is better than the first 37, hire that person. And if you don't find anybody better, then of course you will hire the first person that you thought of. But this is an interesting way to get rid of FOMO also, because especially in dating, I'm assuming that if you're dating 15 people, then and the 15th person is really nice and you like that person, but you might still think, especially in the age of Tinder and Bumble and whatnot, that oh my god, I have so many matches still. I have so many people still out there I haven't spoken to. So that FOMO will always be there. There will always be people that you haven't spoken to. There will always be experiences that you have not had with people that you have not met. Can you really meet everybody in the world? Can you date everybody in the world? You can't. So at some point, you do have to just decide that, bas yahi hai. So how do you decide that? So this is one interesting thing. Dating is disappointing. Okay. So you're saying that the first 37% has been disappointing. Interesting. We can focus on dating after our career is sorted. Shubhankar, I absolutely disagree. I don't think uh, career and dating and art and hobbies are linear. This is a scam that the Indian education system has pulled on us, saying कि बेटा पढ़ाई के बाद, लेकिन आंटी जी पढ़ाई कब खत्म नहीं होती. You are never done studying. Your career is never over. And so, as a child, you need to be taught that you can do two things at once, at least two things at once. And it is a scam that you cannot. It's not true. You have to do two things at once because life doesn't wait for you to finish one thing so that you can start the next. You have to have things in parallel. So, date when you're studying, it is fine. Date when you're focusing on your career, it's fine. It depends on the conversation that you have with your partner to make it successful. Because if you're not able to maintain a conversation, then even after your career is sorted, you will still not have a successful relationship. So don't wait for one thing to be over before you do the next. Get into the habit of being able to multitask important things, but multitasking does not mean everything has equal priority. So on different days, you will have different priorities. On a day where my exam is there, I'm not going to think that I need to give my girlfriend 6 hours of my day. That's not the way life works. So at any given point of time, you have priorities, but yeah, it's not linear. Focusing on one thing makes life monotonous. Oh, absolutely. What is the future of gene editing and gene manipulation? There are ethical concerns. The main counter argument is ethical concerns. Other than that, I feel that it has a lot of promise. It's Warrior. Assume so much till you focus. Virtual hugs though. Love the way you talk, bro. I'll copy soon. Abhishek. Yeah, I know. Even in school, everybody kept thinking it's Warrior with an O. ADHD. How to use the power of the subconscious mind? You can't use the power of the subconscious mind. You can only use the power of the conscious mind. So you have to try and bring more and more things into your conscious. because the subconscious mind is perfectly happy doing things the way it has been doing for the last 10 million years. So the subconscious mind does not need you to tell it what to do. So you have to bring more and more things into the realm of your conscious mind. So try and understand how your emotions work. Try and understand why do you get annoyed suddenly, or try and understand why do you get hurt so easily, why do you get offended so easily. All of this is your subconscious mind only working. So you have to bring it into the conscious mind in order to have a chance. How to treat a patient with nymphomania. Why do I feel like you just wanted to type nymphomania in the comments and it has nothing to do with the patient? Because it's very, very unlikely that, I mean, if you are a doctor, Projit, I don't know if you are, but it's very unlikely that you've had a patient of nymphomania. And I'm guessing that you came across the word and you really wanted to put it in the chat. How to separate yourself from one sided friendship. What is with the obsession with one sided stuff? Stop playing one sided games, play solitaire. Everybody is stuck in one sided stuff. How do I get rid of this toxic behavior that whenever I'm angry at my family, I do self sabotaging to express, look, I'm not good. I'm not doing good because of you. Well, it's an easy escape, right? We are always looking for easy escapes. We don't want to have hard conversations with ourselves. We want to get the easy way out. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's so difficult to sit and think everything is your fault, right? But, and I don't know if you, I don't know if you've experienced this, but if you start thinking that you are the one responsible for a lot of things that are happening in your life, you will also start feeling a sense of power, because you will start quickly understanding what is actually in your hand and what is not, and how to avoid the things that are not in your hands and how to enhance the things that are. And so you get an idea of how to control the events in your life more. Nobody can control it 100%. Of course, that is a given. No, we are not gods. We will be taken by surprise. Some things will happen out of our control. That is universal. But the degree of control, that is not the same. If you say that it's luck, or if you say that ye sab hota hai, it's fate, then that element of fate, that percentage to which fate plays a role in your life should be common to everybody. Why does fate play more of a role in one person's life and not somebody else? So clearly there are some things that you can do to modulate the effect of fate. And that is why I think it is good to think of yourself in control. At least try to think of how you could have affected this situation, because it gives you a sense of calm, ironically. How to do a dopamine detox. Kavin Tiwari, let me break some myths right here. There's no such thing as dopamine detox. Dopamine is an essential molecule in your body, and it is extremely important for your functioning. If you run out of dopamine, you will not wake up. You will have something called Parkinson's disease, which makes your body slow, makes your hands and feet rigid. It will give you tremor. You will not be able to eat properly. You will not be able to pass. Uh, you'll not be able to pass stools properly. You will not be able to speak properly. Your whole body gets fucked. Okay. So there's no such thing as dopamine detox. You cannot, do not run out of dopamine. Dopamine is very important. What the idea is that you have to stop addictive behavior. And dopamine detox is a great way of catching people's attention. But you only detox from things that are poisonous. Dopamine is not poisonous. Addictive behaviors are poisonous. So you have to get rid of addictive behaviors. So anything that makes you addicted or has the potential of addiction, you should learn to avoid. Like cigarette smoking, like alcohol, like high calorie foods. These are all addictive actions. These are all addictive substances. So that is what dopamine detox is trying to talk about, but I hate the name. It's like a gimmick. It's a gimmick for something which does have a biological basis, but it gives the wrong impression. So learning to say no would be a better way to say it. Anything that you're struggling to say no to is a problem. So you should be able to say no to almost everything except subsistence. Like you need energy to survive, so you need food, but that food just needs you to eat your 1800 to 2000 calories a day. That's it. And even uh, that need not happen every day. Your body actually needs less unless you're actively working out, unless you're an athlete, in which case the requirements change, but actually your body needs a lot less. So we are living in a world of overconsumption. So that way it is a great analogy, but dopamine detox is not the right word. Accepting your mistakes. Is BSc psychology a better course to opt for? Better than what exactly? How do I get out of my comfort zone? Hey, this is interesting. So this guy put up a couple of blue diamonds next to his comment, and I noticed it. And I've been reading a lot about marketing and neuromarketing, and I think that's a really cool idea. Just putting something on the comments so that it catches my eye. So if I were to think of all of you guys as brands, okay, and you are trying to advertise yourself, how would you catch my attention? So the chart is just going on, it's just scrolling up, up, up. So how would you catch my attention? So one way is that you will use capitals. Like I can see somebody using capitals. Does that affect memory of the hippocampus? So that's all in capitals. Kumar has put diamonds on either side about productivity. So that's another way. So using flashy techniques to catch my eye. Of course, if you are a moderator or if you are a subscribed member, then I can see the logo next to you, so that would obviously come up in my eye. If somebody does a super chat, I obviously see it immediately. Angry faces, brilliant. As soon as I see angry faces, I will definitely look at it because my brain is thinking, damn, somebody's threatening me. So this is still a smaller chat though. This is still I think 220 213 people. By the way, how many likes are we at? Are we at 300 yet? If not, can you quickly make it 300? 262. Make it 300, please. By using unusual CMTs. Why are people so against eugenics? I hate studying. I'm in class 11. Will you please help what to do, how to study well? I hate studying. Sovyam, you've lost the battle on the first line, man. What do you mean you hate studying? Maybe you hate the way that the textbook is written. Maybe you hate the way that you are being taught. But if you say that you don't like to learn anything, then life is going to be very difficult for you. Because the whole point of us being evolved species is that we are capable of learning. So it's kind of your point in life to learn. Now, what you learn is up to you. All right. So this is the important difference. People say you have to study, you have to study, you have to study. But then we don't talk about what to study. So it's up to you on what you pay attention to and what you learn. But if you hate learning at all and you say, I don't want to learn anything, that's going to be tough, man. You need to learn. My profile picture is so hot, you will notice it. That is definitely a good way of getting somebody's attention. The Dark Knight, Bad Sid. Yeah, that got my attention. See? So now, Lavina, welcome to Sid's team. Always a pleasure to see you on the chat. I recognize people who've been on the streams since I started, and I love that. I love seeing old friends. Save this life. I will. Oh, guys, okay. Now there's a problem. See, now there's too much. There's too much color. There's too much emojis going on. Now I can't see anything. Now it's just a blur. Now you guys blew it. Can we learn anything in this world? Yes. Can you talk about information overload as it affects our decision making? I have something for you. I have something very interesting for you. Hold on, let me share the screen. This was a paper that I had read recently. I had kept it open in case I wanted to show you. All right, check it out. I don't know what happened to my subscription. I have to update the payments thing yet again. That has been super annoying. That payments thing has been super annoying. I had some 6 or 7 subscriptions going on, and I had to enter my card details across all of it. Super so annoying. Tagging you would also work. Yeah, Prasanna, well done. Okay, now this paper. Okay, I want you to turn your attention to this. First of all, how many of you understood the title? I'll read it out. Tuning down the hedonic brain. Cognitive load reduces neural responses to high-calorie food pictures in the nucleus accumbens. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Whoever describes it accurately on the first go gets a shout out. Anxiety issues while studying is a myth. No. No, it's not. Why do people explain? Jansi saying explain. मतलब directly explain. भाई मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. Just you only tell me. This is some crazy nonsense Greek. Love your content. Help me a lot. Thank you, man. How many? Okay. I hope that each and every person who is watching this stream has subscribed to the channel. Guys, do not break my heart. Have you all subscribed to the channel? If not, please do it. Do it right now. Everybody subscribe to the channel. Okay. It just occurred to me that you guys may not have done that. And I couldn't believe it that this thought even entered my mind. Right. Awesome. And plus, of course, everybody in your family and your friends group are also subscribed. Like that goes without saying, right? Like you can't be subscribed to a channel as awesome as this and not always talk about it to your friends and family. I'm just assuming that just goes without saying. Cool. Now, let's talk about the... So I'll answer your questions in like 5 minutes. Hear me out, okay? Let's just talk about this paper for 3 minutes. 3 minutes you give me attention. Oh, Gyaneshwar Singh. That is a brilliant way of getting my attention. Thank you for the super chat, man. I totally appreciate it. Tuning down the hedonic brain. What does that mean? Hedonism means based on pleasure. All right. So wait, I'm gonna teach you properly. Let's do this properly. Okay. So hedonism means the pursuit of pleasure, sensual, self. Oof, kya sexy words hai. Hedonism is the pursuit of pleasure, sensual, self-indulgence. Okay. So the next time you are feeling sensually self-indulgent, say that I'm feeling hedonic. Okay. And nobody will understand. Nobody will understand. But that's what you have to say. I'm feeling hedonic. And then, did you behave hedonically today? Yes, I did. Today morning or last night I was hedonic. So yeah, no fap and all is out. All right. This is the new slang. So tuning down the hedonic brain means the part of your brain that is dealing with pleasure. So that is the old part of your brain, the limbic part of your brain. Now read the next one. Cognitive load reduces neural responses to high calorie food pictures in the nucleus accumbens. So the nucleus accumbens is the limbic part, the primitive part of the brain that deals with pleasure. So if I give you kaju katli or if I show you gulab jamun, then your hedonic part of the brain is like, I want, de, jaldi de. But cognitive load. So if I give you a maths problem to solve and it's a very interesting one and you're totally trying to solve it, then if I give you a gulab jamun and you're trying to solve it, you're caught up in that, you're like, abhi nahi chahiye. You realize what this means? If somebody is having problems saying no to something that they're addicted to, and if they're caught up in an intellectual task, it might be easier for them to overcome it. And I love that idea. Harsh Jain, orange colored super chat, 200 rupees. Thank you so much, Harsh. Appreciate it. Is creativity more predominant in a certain ethnicity or race? Slavery is an extreme constraint, and seems that black people have evolved and produced the best creative minds, especially music as an outlet. Example, Tupac. So creativity is not ethnicity or race dependent. Creativity is a neural product, and the brains of all the people have evolved in a similar way. And whatever differences there are very minute. All right. Most of the differences, even though there may be differences genetically, so in skin color, in height, in bone structure, but the brain is so malleable that everything is learned. So everything is environment. So it is the environment that they grew up in that would have had a huge impact. So if an African American community grew up in a tough neighborhood with poverty or dealing with racism, then that would have had a huge impact on the things that they have to say. So an American white man would never be able to write the kind of music that Tupac did or Dr. Dre did or NWA did. So all of these guys would have written songs and lyrics so specific to their circumstances, what they grew up in. So that is what creativity is. Creativity is taking in your own lived experiences and turning it into something else, turning it into art. But you cannot say that uh, like African American people are more evolved or less evolved creatively than any other race, because I think there is enough, like you also know that every single race and ethnicity in the world has created unbelievable art in all fields: music, paint, dance. Everybody has done that. So why do we have ego? So Shan is picking up on the whole emoji thing. Why do we have ego? We have ego. So ego is not a biological term, but it is a psychological term that does play an important role in the way we understand it. So ego is the hedonic brain. Think about it that way. The the sense of identity, that sense of self, what comes in, and not exactly the hedonic brain. Ego is the sense of self that we have. So it is somewhere between id and superego. I'm trying to remember my conversation with Mansi, because we had an entire stream on Sigmund Freud, and she explained ego, superego. So the concept is that the part of the brain that is dealing with identity, that is a sense of self, is literally somewhere between the limbic and the tip of the prefrontal cortex. So we, as species, evolved from reptiles onwards. So reptiles, and then apes and monkeys, and then human beings. We developed more and more of a sense of self, like me, I am there, I am a person. So at every level, that sense of self had to deal with emotions, the hedonic brain. So ego is something that is evolving constantly. Even our egos aren't evolved fully. We don't know where we are. In fact, one of the things that I very strongly believe is that as a species, we have an inferiority complex. As a species, we have imposter syndrome. I believe that at our core, we don't believe we belong here at the top of the food chain, because at our core we are still monkeys, and you know where monkeys are in the food chain. Monkeys are quite below. I mean, we still think of the tiger and the lion as kings of the jungle, and we would look at them and immediately get scared, because that is our place. Our place is not top of the food chain, but because of our intelligence and because of the way we were able to cooperate and coordinate with each other, we somehow managed to reach the top of the food chain. But evolutionarily, neurologically, I feel we have imposter syndrome. So ego is a very interesting, complex term. It's basically us finding out our identity. Are there any psychologists or evolutionary psychologists here? I should just call Prakhar. I should do a stream with Prakhar on just id ego and superego. I haven't streamed with him in a while. Just him and I, we haven't streamed in a while. I'll make it happen. I kind of missed that conversation. In fact, I should just call him for a podcast and talk about id ego and superego. Shashank Chaube, welcome to Sid's Place. Welcome, my new member. I hope you have fun here. We talk about neuroscience, we talk about love, we talk about what don't we talk about? Is there anything we don't talk about on this channel? I think we talk about everything. Like it started off with neuroscience, but we talk about everything. Yeah. How can we tell our mind to do something when the mind is the one telling us? Huh. Huh. Who are you if not your mind? This is the whole ship of thesis concept. Like you take apart your brain, and look for yourself, and you will never find yourself, because you are not any one part of your brain. You are the whole brain. You are your mind. Your mind is a projection of the brain. By the way, Sid, what plans do you have for this channel in 2022? Lavina, I love you for asking that question. What plans do I have? I have two major plans. I have two plans. One, I want to stream a lot more. I want to stream a lot more. I want to stream anything. I don't want to think about my brand. I don't want to think about my brand. I'm not here for that. I want to have fun. So I want to stream, I want to play games. I want to do book clubs and just enjoy. Enjoy time on YouTube. Enjoy my time with you guys. Get to know you guys. Like I think out of every 20, I know one person. And I want to get to know more of you. I want to recognize faces now. I want to recognize names and say that, oh, it's Laksh. Oh, it's Karthik. Oh, I know Karthik. Like, I want to develop that. And two, I want to create videos which are 6 to 7 minutes long and which are concised information on really interesting topics. Topics that I feel aren't really talked about in the Indian YouTube scene, and I should be the one to do it because fuck it, I want to. So that's it. You replying to chats increase our dopamine. Hey, you acknowledging what I'm saying increases my dopamine. I guess I have ADHD, I get hyperactive. How to get things done? John C. Sorry about that, John C. ADHD is a difficult thing to deal with. ADHD is your brain trying to come to terms with its own dopamine networks. That's what it is. Because your dopamine networks are very active and everything is a potential source of information. Everything is a potential threat. Everything is a potential pleasure. How do you say no? And so it's difficult for everyone now. The way social media and the internet is going, it's just making everybody on the ADHD spectrum. But people who have diagnosed ADHD is much more difficult, and I have a lot of sympathy for that. The way out is to first understand the disease, understand how it's not really your fault, understand that sometimes networks do have to be retrained, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen over a YouTube stream. It's not going to be me telling you one thing and suddenly your life is solved. It is going to be gradual, but it will happen. It does happen. Therapy is an amazing thing. Cognitive behavioral therapy is an amazing thing. There are medicines that one could take if a psychiatrist feels that you need it at that time, and gradually it does get better. So absolutely don't feel like it's never going to get better, but you do need to talk to a therapist. Yeah. In the war of egos, loser always wins. I like that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can't let your when you say let your ego win, it what you're basically saying is that you have let the identity that you have created win. But then we forget that identity is also a trap. And so with every victory that your identity has, you are getting more and more trapped in that identity. And so now you can't move. So if I have an ego as a doctor, and if somebody says that you are a terrible doctor, for example, now my ego is hurt because I identify as a doctor. A doctor is who I am. How dare this person make fun or be rude about me being a doctor, because that is all that I am. And so if I get very angry and I shout at them and I scream at them, what I'm doing is I'm telling myself that, yes, this is all that I am. This is who I am. And I'm also giving a lot of importance to that moment, to that person. But if being a doctor is a small part of me, I feel like I can step back and look at the situation and think, this is one person. How much does this opinion threaten me? So if somebody says I'm a bad doctor, how much does it threaten me? And I have that space to step back and think about it and then decide, do I want to react or not? I might still decide to get angry, but at least it's a decision, not a instinctive thing. Harsh Jain, thank you for another super chat. What role did ego play in fight or flight during the hunter gatherer era? So the fight or flight does not come from ego. Fight or flight comes from the limbic, the amygdala, the sympathetic nervous system. That's what kicks in during fight or flight. So if somebody's rude to me right now, I'm immediately kicked at where it hurts. So it's the limbic system that is getting activated. And that is what leads to the fight or flight. I'm having brain fog after depression. Can it be cured? Riaz, the symptoms of depression are linked to each other. So one thing could lead to another, which could lead to another. And treatment would also involve getting over all those different symptoms one by one by one. So if you're still having a problem, if you're still having symptoms, then I hope that your therapist knows about it, because it needs to be dealt with separately. All right. Jansi, how to stop caring about impressing people? It is very difficult to not care about impressing people. We are wired to care about what other people think about us. If you are a hunter gatherer and your community or your tribe says this person is no longer useful to the tribe or this person is dangerous to the tribe, then they would kick you out and then you will die because you cannot survive alone. And your brain still thinks that it is very, very important to get other people's validation and I need to impress others. There is some truth in that, but there is also a lot of falsehood, and our brain exaggerates it terribly. That is one point. So it's not entirely true. We are exaggerating the problem. We don't need to impress people that much. And second, very often it is counterproductive because wanting to impress actually ends up not impressing. So if you are logical and say that, yes, it makes sense for me to impress someone, then logically it is better to not want to impress, because you will come up you will come up leaving with a wrong impression. Oh, this person is too keen. This person is too all over me. Never mind. Not interested. Streamlabs active hai kya? I don't use Streamlabs anymore. I'm class 11, don't like to study. Didn't we talk about this? Don't like to study. Took PCM after failing badly in first semester. I have a theory that anybody would love to study if they're taught properly. What do you guys think? Anybody would love to study if they're taught properly. I'm 100% believer in this. If you don't like to study something, then you have not been taught it properly. Yeah, Nikita, true. Because everything is interesting and everything deals with you. Everything is connected to you. But how is it connected to you is a problem that either the teacher has to solve or you have to solve. So if I were to talk to you about nucleus accumbens without really telling you why is nucleus accumbens important in your life, then you won't really be interested. Ki kya hai ye? What is this cognitive overload thing? What is this hedonic brain? I don't care. But as soon as I say that this is what is making you addicted and this is what is uh, making you not be able to say no to food or not being able to say no to a bad habit, now suddenly it's personal. Now you want to know more and more. So that's how you have to teach. You have to teach by making something personal to somebody. Mm, Pramod Ruria, thank you for the super chat. How to move on from rejection? Is it possible to continue a healthy friendship? In the long term, yes. But like I spoke to you about breakup, I feel that some time off is required. You have to give yourself time to grieve and you have to give yourself the time and space to analyze. And as much as I would like to say that you can be logical and analyze properly even when you are still close friends with that person, very often than not, it's not possible. You will still be confused, you will still be triggered, and then if you see them with somebody else, then that is a whole other BT. So you owe yourself that time apart. And once that is done, once you have reached that stage of gratitude, once you've reached that stage of understanding why this breakup was important in your life, then sure, you can be friends with them. Now, this is a generalization. Of course, with you and your partner or you and your friend, I don't know what is the equation that you guys share. If two people are completely comfortable with each other and can talk about everything and be honest about everything, I believe that any sort of relationship is possible. I don't think there is any relationship that is not possible between two people who are 100% honest with each other. But it's honesty is difficult. There is the reason that so many breakups happen and the reason that so many relationships fail is because honesty is difficult. And dealing with honesty is difficult. So one person might be very honest, but the other person can't deal with all that honesty. That is an interesting conversation to have. The importance of lying. The importance of lying in a relationship. Setvik is saying, I'm dying to see the bookshelf behind you. Setvik, you'll see it in the vlog. Whenever I start it. I'm not starting it. I'm not starting vlogging. But at some point I will. And then you'll see it. And since Lavina asked, 2022, I might vlog. Maybe if I cross 50K. But I want to figure out my kind of vlog. Like I don't want to just document random shit. I had one idea on a very like an interesting way to vlog, but I'm still working on it. And it combines a couple of things. It combines neuroscience, it combines my life, and it combines technology. So these are the three things that I feel I can combine into a vlog, and that'll be very interesting. All right, people are excited. Cool. Broken Tooth, thank you for the super chat. Overthinking is there any way I can control it? My superpower helps me with my creative work, but it makes it hard to work when needed. I feel like true genius is the ability to switch between chaos and discipline. If you're able to switch between chaos and discipline, I feel that is where genius lies. Because you need chaos to create. You need chaos to come up with crazy shit that nobody's ever thought of. But that's not enough. You need discipline to have it down on paper. You need discipline to make a paper out of it, to write a book out of it, to create a poem out of it, to paint it, to sculpt it, whatever. You need discipline to bring it to reality. So chaos is metaverse and discipline is reality. So you need both. And genius is when you can do both. So the reason that Albert Einstein was a genius is not just because he got that spark of crazy thought that, oh man, space time is curved and gravitational waves are happening. Like वो बोलने में कोई भी बोलता है यार, कोई भी फूक के कुछ भी बोल देता है. Do you have the discipline to then go home and work out the mathematics behind it? That is what genius is. Very often we think of genius only as this random vague idea creator. But I feel like genius is what comes after that. And both of those things in one person makes you a genius. Very often what happens is there's one creative guy and there's one guy who's very disciplined, and the two of them can work together. Honesty without tact is cruelty. A good thought I heard on the internet. There is some truth in that, because very often honesty is hurtful. Very often people cannot deal with honesty. If somebody is absolutely honest to me and tells me all of my flaws to my face, there is a chance that I might not like it. There's a chance that I might back off and say, whoa, buddy, I didn't sign up for this. And I don't want to deal with this right now. So I might think of that as cruel. Whereas there is a way to say it. So somebody can tell it to me in a way that I can take it. So with tact, anything can be said. Literally. With tact or with empathy, anything can be said. HBSB. Wait, are you a bank? It sounds very much like a bank. How can we... Thank you for the super chat, by the way. If you are a bank, then this is too less, but okay. How can we de-addict ourselves from algorithms of AI and super machines, social media, जो मुझे इतना अच्छे से जानते हैं, social dilemma? Oof. How do you de-addict yourself? You've got to log out, man. You can't sit in the sweet shop and say, how do I stop eating sweets? You've got to walk out. You've got to log out. For a while, for however long it takes, you have to give your brain the reminder that it can say no. You have to make it more and more difficult for yourself, because otherwise what is happening is that you're training your neurons at such a core fundamental level that it just gets harder and harder to say no after that. It does. So one thing I want to do in 2022 is to have a couple of days a week where I'm not on any social media, where I basically uninstall the app for 2 days. I'll just pick the 2 days, and those days I won't do anything on social media. No Instagram, no Twitter, nothing. I would just, like, I'll probably post something at night and then not check the next day, and then directly come the day after that, just to remind myself that, hey, it's fine. You don't need to do it. Because 2021, I feel like I use social media a lot. And I would tell myself that it's for work. I mean, I consider this my second work, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that. I consider myself as a 2-job person now. I would work in the hospital, and then I would come back, and this is my second job. All of this, like YouTube, social media, Instagram, writing a blog, writing a book, preparing for my workshops, all of it is my second job. And I love it. I can't tell you how much I love it. I love it. I love doing this. I love contacting you. I love talking to you. How many of you know about my Neuro-Marketing Workshop, by the way? And how many of you have signed up or attended one till now? Because I've done 2 cohorts already, 200 students in both. And I'm doing a third one, the last one, this Wednesday. So the Neuromarketing 101, the last cohort is happening this Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And if you want to be a part of it, join in. I would love to see you there. We talk a lot about brands, about how decisions are made, why we click on certain things, why we why do we decide what to buy, and how do we use that to shape our selling decisions, to shape our marketing decisions. So if you're interested in that, link is in the description below. Definitely sign up for it. Would love to see some of you over there. Somebody just asked an interesting question. Hold on. All right. I'm just going to pin this. Sid, are you writing a book? If I was, then would you buy one? I'm going to give myself a year. I'm going to write a book this entire year and come up with something so kick-ass it'll blow my own mind. Because if I'm going to write a book, I need to blow my own mind. Because I need to go to a depth that I haven't gone yet. And I need to make it fun, because it'll probably end up in the hands of people who have not seen me, who have not really heard of my YouTube channel. And they would be picking up the book and they have never heard me talk about amygdala and limbic system. And I have to make it so easy and fun and simple. I would love to do that. So yeah, that's in the works. It's hard to do things whenever I'm alone. Why? Arjun, I'm we are wired a little differently. A lot of people actually work very well alone. So this is absolutely something that you have trained yourself to do consciously or subconsciously. And you have figured out, like, this is your identity. You've said that this is your identity. I can only work with people. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong in that. It's just that you have to be aware enough to know that this is you. And if you want to change it, then you have to change it. You have to consciously change it. So being able to consciously change yourself is one of the most useful lessons to learn. If you can figure out how to change yourself, you're sorted. You're done. Okay. Okay, a couple of super chats. Wait. I don't want to miss out on any. I don't want to miss out on any super chat. Hold on. Madhan Koilier, thank you for the super chat. Is it possible to lose all the influences in life given by family, society, friends, and from anything we have learned? Short answer, I would say no. I don't think it's possible to lose all influences, because influences are not lost. Influences are built over. So think of it like archaeology. Think of it like you are um, digging for different layers, and you find more and more and more deeper layers as you keep digging. That is you. You are, as a person, all your friends that you had in school have influenced you. All the friends you had in your entrance classes, all the friends you had in college, everybody has left their impressions on you, their influences on you. You cannot go back and remove them. You can only override them. You can come up with new learnings that supersede the old learnings. But जो पुराना learning हुआ है वो हो गया है. A fun neuroscience comic book. भाई comic से याद आया. Please tell me you've seen the comics. Have you seen the comics? Have you seen the comics? Have you seen No Brainer Comics? Wait, so this is my Instagram page. Tell me you have seen the comics. This is No Brainer. This is No Brainer Comics. I have been dreaming of this for the last 6-7 months, and I was looking for somebody to work with. I found an incredible artist, Soundarya. She's from Vishakhapatnam, and we've been working on this for the last 2-3 months, and I'm so happy that it's finally out there. We release twice a week, and you absolutely have to read it. All right, so it is all about neuroscience. It's all about the brain, and it's all about these Lovely characters. So this is prefrontal cortex, PFC, and this is the red one is amygdala, and this is the blue one is hippocamp. The blue one is serotonin. The serotonin, and this absolutely gorgeous girl is dopamine. She's dopa, and tell me she's in the cutest girl you've ever seen. I absolutely love her, and she is amazing. And then you have, so she loves all this. She loves ice creams, and she gets super excited at every small thing, and she just wants more and more and more and more. And serotonin is her older brother. Okay, so serotonin has to take care of her. Serotonin will drag her away. Serotonin is like, bus dopa, bus aaj ke liye, time to go home. So Zero and Dopa are brothers. And PFC is like the CEO. PFC has to manage everything. And this is hippocampus. Okay, hippocampus has to remember stuff. But hippocampus doesn't listen to the prefrontal cortex much. So PFC is like, Sun, this is important. Kal exam hai, bhai, padhai kar. And hippocampus is sleeping, kuch nahi. And suddenly Amy comes in. This guy ghosted us. Remember it forever and ever. Hippocampus is up, awake, listening. Yes, ma'am. So this is actually a thing that the amygdala has a much more important role to play in memory. So all your long-term memories are stored partly because the amygdala feels that they're important. So, yeah. When is the next astrophysics stream with Akshat? I don't know actually. I think there was an important launch yesterday. They what did they do? कोई तो सैटेलाइट था ना नया, कोई तो नया सैटेलाइट का लॉन्च था. Anytime podcast with Robert Sapolsky, that would be my dream, Erebus. There are certain people that I would just love to have on the podcast. I would love to have Andrew Huberman on the podcast. I would definitely want him. Sanjay Kumar has sent a super chat. Is Doc, I have a constant throbbing in the left side of the brain, mostly when I get stressed, with the right hand flinches and my hand tries to go into paralysis. Okay. Sanjay, please show a neurophysician near you. Yeah. Can you repeat the IG page? So I can't pronounce your name. Is that Priya? But the IG page is on the YouTube channel, man. You can see it right under my face. You can see my Twitter handle and my Instagram handle. That's my IG page. Sid_Warrior. Go follow me. Make an NFT of this comic. Oh, I would love to. Who's the NFT genius here? Is there anybody here who makes NFTs? Contact me. I have serious social anxiety issues. How can I deal with it? Feel like I won't be able to make it. If you have a mental problem, a mental situation that makes you feel like you are not able to cope up with everyday situations, with your daily life, the answer has to be go to a therapist. Do not try to solve problems after they have reached that level by yourself. Go to a therapist without even thinking about it. The way I see it is that you don't try to learn or you don't try to fix your car after it has had a terrible accident. You will maintain your car when your car is working fine. And that's how I feel it is with mental health also. I feel like when you are okay, that is when you should be taking care of it. That is when you should be dealing with it. That is when you should be reading about it. You should be reading about what is mental health, what is mental reserve, what is resilience, what is inner strength, what is discipline, what is the role that sleep plays and food plays and community plays and religion plays, and all these things you should learn about and read about when you are okay. Not when you are suffering from a mental health problem. But unfortunately, the way that we are, we ignore, right? That's what we do with money, that's what we do with health, with physical health. We ignore. चल रहा है ना, चलने दे, देखते हैं क्या होता है. And then when something goes wrong, then we start reading about it. So I feel that if you feel you're mentally healthy, please learn about mental health. Please learn about what goes into keeping you mentally healthy in the future. How to maintain your health, right? Maintain your car, maintain your mental health. Do certain things which are good for you, and you will find that life is easier. There is a lot of controversy around saying that there are certain things that you can do to improve your mental health, because people misunderstand it and think that, oh, you're saying that mental health problems is somebody's fault. And that jump is a very unfortunate one. It is extremely unfortunate, because we have to talk about certain things that we should do to improve our health. And it is not about the people who have already gotten a problem. It is not about blaming. It is not about trying to find reasons. When somebody's got a problem, they've got a problem. The main thing is to solve it. But if somebody hasn't got a problem yet, and there is a chance to increase their health, then improving health in itself is a way of reducing the chances of illness. Not absolutes, but chances. And that is why I feel this is a important discussion to have. Sarthak has sent a super chat. Oh, by the way, just to answer Sanjay, uh, constant throbbing in the left side of the brain, it could be migraine, it could be other things. You have to talk to a neurologist face to face in order for you to solve this. If you can't do face to face, do an online consultation, but at least speak to a doctor. Not on a YouTube live stream, but as a consultation. Sarthak, I'm a filmmaking student, found out about Neurocinematics, which in itself stemmed from neuromarketing. Can you give insight on it? Sarthak, I have not really gone into Neurocinematics much. The only thing I recently read was the 7-second rule, which is about attention. It is about how your brain will stop focusing on something if you don't change the scene every 7 seconds, which is why I'm amazed at live streams. Because in live stream, you are just listening to my conversation and my thoughts. I'm not changing things. I'm not, actually, I should be just showing you random stuff. Like, I should just be showing you random stuff in order to keep changing what you are seeing. But if you see the top streamers, okay, the way they also do it is that there is always something happening. There's always some screen change. There's always some pop-ups. Something is going on. Either chat is going on. There you can see blinking lights. Your brain needs certain things to keep happening on the screen for you to pay attention. And so I've realized that movies do this. In an action movie especially, very rarely will you find the camera only focused on one thing for more than 7 seconds. It'll keep changing so that you don't get visually tired. Yeah, so visually tired or visually uh, like the amount of stimulation goes down after that much time. You've already taken in all the salient information, and so your brain tunes out. Your brain thinks, "Ha, isme kuch hai nahi." There's nothing more to be gained by paying attention to this. Let me open my phone. Let me look at something else. That's what happens. I love Twitter. DA Shekhalia has gone from my live stream and already tweeted something that I said in this live stream. Can it get more real time? Can social media be any more real time? Like, literally, we just spoke about this. The true genius is who knows to switch between chaos and discipline. And it's already on Twitter. Chal, I'm going to retweet this. HBSB, my initials are, oh, Hakikat Bir Singh. Just completed my MBBS this year. पहली बात मुझे साइकेट्री फिर भी समझ आता है बट नॉट थेरेपी. हाँ ठीक है ना. So if you have just completed your MBBS, that means that you are familiar with all the concepts. So therapy comes under psychiatry and psychology. Sanjay Kumar has asked, can I consult you this one-on-one-to-one? Yes, Sanjay, you can. I think I answered this before also. But yeah, sidwarrior.com is my website, or contact@sidwarrior.com. You could just send an email and yeah, we can connect. So how many of you are on Twitter? Twitter is so weird though, because when most of us, okay, at least for me, when you start off, you don't get too much traction and you're kind of bored. You're thinking क्या है, मतलब क्या कुछ मैं खुद से बात कर रहा हूँ. I'm just in a room alone. I'm just talking to myself. Nobody is listening, and most people get bored, right? So for me, I joined Twitter. Wait, I joined Twitter on June 11th. Okay, June 2011. June 2011, I joined. I barely had any tweets. I think I tweeted like 4 or 5 times and then I left it. I left it from 2011 to 2019. And then 2019 December or something, I started tweeting again just for fun. I had like 60, 50 followers or something. And it was literally like my journal. I wouldn't think about it. I would be going about my day. I would think of some nice thing and then I would just tweet it because I wanted to remember it. And I thought I'll come back to it later. And very, very slowly, I started engaging with people and I started talking to people, especially from the medical community. And believe it or not, when the pandemic started, I must have had like 200, 300 followers at that time. When the pandemic started, it was Twitter that made me start online classes. So I asked on Twitter, hey, listen, I'm a neurologist. Are there any medical students who want neurology clinics? I'm free at home and your medical college is stopped. I know. So if you want clinics, tell me. I can teach you like for free. I can teach you. I'm just at home. Once a week, I can take a clinic on different topics. And I got a pretty great response. I got like some 200, 300 replies saying that, yeah, let's do it. And yeah, that's what I did. I found, wait, I'll show you. Um, I went to I started online clinics and I started this thing called as quarantine clinics. How many of you know about this? I bet you don't know about it. Quarantine clinics तो बहुत कम लोगों को पता होगा. Only true fans will know. View full playlist. So this is quarantine clinics. Do you know about this? So if there are medical students in the chat, then, and if you are struggling with neurology, or even if you're very good at neurology, this is something that you should check out. And tell your friends. Tell only medical friends, by the way, only medical students. Nobody else will have use for it. This is all about how to examine a patient, how to handle a stroke patient, how do you deal with Parkinson, dementia, motor neuron disease, bladder dysfunction, brainstem syndromes, sleep disorders, multiple sclerosis. All of this is part of neurology. So most people will not be interested in it, but I feel like medical students would find a lot of use for it, because I would have wanted to see these lectures if I was in MBBS or even MD, actually, not DM. DM students won't really find use for this, but MBBS and MD for sure. 100%. What do you think about manifesting? What do you want? What do you want? Manifest away, man. Adarsh. Manifest away. Manifesting has never killed anybody. Unless they manifested a train in front of them. I'm very sorry for that joke. But manifest away. Manifest and then work. Think about how the most amazing things are going to happen to you, but then work. Immediately after that, start working towards it, and you will find that, yeah, amazing things do happen to you. And it's mainly because of the work, but then the manifestation helps you get motivated. Manifestation helps you keep your faith, because once you start your work, you know that you will falter at some point. You'll get bored, you'll struggle, you'll feel like, yaar, ye to bahut zyada ho gaya. But then you've manifested it. So now you know that this is coming. It is going to be there in your future. You will work for it. You'll work harder. So that's what faith does. So manifest away. HS, our resident bank has super chatted again. I have to have some trust on therapy, how it works. I want to try it, but uh, don't know who's actual therapist and where to find it. You said try therapy. All right, that's a very valid question. It's very difficult to find a therapist. I have done a stream on how to find a therapist or what are the different kinds of therapy. I had done the stream with um, I forgot when did I do this, but yeah, just search for it. Search for what is therapy on my channel and you will find it. All right. So one option that you have is you can go to kaha.mind on Instagram and check out their page, or you could also check out Therapize India. Wait, let me see if there is therapize.india. Yeah, Therapize India is a good page. You should definitely uh, check it out. Yeah, Shatarupa. I had done it with Shatarupa. Yes. So check out this page. They have they offer therapy services, and you should also check out kaha.mind. I think kaha mind. Yeah, online counseling, community building. So check out this page also. So these are two places where you could find therapy options. How much can brain influence psychology, thoughts causing physical symptoms like palpitations? A lot. Ravi Singh, you would be amazed at how much it can influence. How much mood and the thoughts that you have, how much they could influence physical symptoms. I have seen people coming with loss of consciousness, with involuntary movements, with heartbeat, heart racing, all of that simply because they had a anxiety attack. So, and that anxiety attack was because they have an exam coming up. So your mind and your thoughts could definitely have a huge impact on your body. Can your brain create false memory? It's creating memories all the time. What is false? I mean, that kind of depends on how you define truth. So your brain is creating memories, and the memory is partly from the external perceived reality, but it is also partly from your own biases, from what you think is the truth. And so you will only see what you believe. Guys, it is almost 12, okay? And maybe you have no work, but very, very likely you all have work also. And I definitely have work. So I should go. You guys can keep chatting. I don't know how. Maybe you can go on to Discord. Tell us more about that course. Wait. Everybody go click on that pinned comment. Everybody go click on it. And I will wait, I can show you actually. Tagmango.com. And this is the course. 29th December, 7 p.m. onwards is the course. And this is what it's going to have. It's a 3-hour workshop, 3.5 hours, depends on how the conversation goes and how many questions I get. But we're going to talk about marketing. We will talk about why shopping is addictive, what gets you hooked to a certain product, what happens in impulse purchasing, what happens in purchasing basically. So did you know that at different points in time, your different parts of the brain are working to complete one decision on whether to buy something or not? So if I show you this pen, your 3 parts of your brain will work one after the other in deciding whether to buy the pen or not. And I thought that was very, very cool. And that is also kind of how you can reverse engineer it. And when you start making ads, full disclosure, there is going to be a much bigger neuromarketing boot camp on 7th of Jan. That is going to be 3 days. That is going to be much more expensive. It is not for everyone. Full disclosure, it is not for everyone. It is only for people who are looking to ultimately go and earn money from it, who are going to make it attended so that they can actually create changes in the way they work. So that is purely for professionals. But this Wednesday is an introductory course. So if you're curious about neuromarketing, if you want to know what neuromarketing is or how it works or how it's already being done on you as a customer, then you should attend it. Sid, Happy New Year in advance. Satvik, thank you so much, man. Lots of love to you. Lots of love to all of you. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you have a wonderful 2022. And I hope you guys share it with me. And I hope to share it with you. We're going to keep seeing each other. We are going to keep seeing each other. Hey, did I not share the screen? Okay. So this is Neuromarketing 101, guys. 3rd cohort. And this is what I was talking about. This is what you're going to get. 3 hours of neuromarketing. 3 case studies. You'll get access to the workshop after that for 1 week. And you'll get access to my notes, presentation, research articles, all of that. So go sign up. Go sign up. And I will see you there. 2022 gaming streams are definitely happening. I stopped gaming on stream because I was just having fun gaming by myself. But I've kind of figured out how to do game streams. I realize that people don't want to just see a new game. They also want conversation. So we are going to do that. We will game and we will do back to basics. What do you think about that? We'll play some chill game and in the middle we'll just have some conversation. We'll talk about it. And then we are going back to gaming. So we all have fun. I have competitive exam on 5th of Feb. I know have to study for it. Whenever I start preparing, I'm not able to do it. I know the future aspect of it. Still, I don't know what to do, sir. Bro. Choice is a terrible thing. Remove choice, man. Remove choice. Convince yourself that you have no choice but to study. Because you have to create artificial struggles. If you don't create artificial struggles, then your brain is not going to take you seriously. So since your brain is a cognitive miser and you allow your brain to do whatever all the time, then it will do whatever all the time. So you need to create artificial struggles. You need to create artificial boundaries. You shouldn't incorporate neuroscience while playing. Why not? So I won't incorporate neuroscience. I won't have these deep philosophical discussions, of course. But I feel like some games can be a great way to talk about certain aspects of life. Don't you think so? Don't you feel like games are a great metaphor for life? And you can talk about a lot of things when you're gaming. Talk about a lot of interesting things, especially in team games. You can talk about group psychology. You can talk about decision making. You can talk about cooperation versus competition. I feel like it's super fun. If nothing else, let's just analyze chess games. Let's just analyze psychology of chess. Kunal, how to overcome loneliness? Go back and stream, Kunal. We talked about this. I'll put timestamps very soon, but go back and check it out. We talked about loneliness. Crab game with chat, 100%. Sit 2.0 in 2022. Vlogs, new YouTube channel. Games are live perfectly represented, 100%. Are you not part of 5 a.m. club? I'm not part of 5 a.m. club. I usually wake up at 7 because I get some work done. Then my gym trainer comes at 9. So I mean it's an online thing, but then we have a slot at 9. But it's interesting that you said that. From this week onwards, my gym is at 7 o'clock. So I from Monday, no, Tuesday morning it's at 7 o'clock. So I will have to wake up a little earlier. And I only did it. Like I only told him to make it earlier so that I can get into the habit of waking up early. It takes two. I finished It Takes Two. I finished it with Smriti. Why are you talking like Buddha feeling weird? Okay. All right then. Uh, why 5 a.m. is a joke? Not really. There is a lot of advantage in waking up early. You get a lot of time. It kind of depends on how productive you are at night. So after 12 o'clock. So right now, if I finish the stream, am I really going to do anything super productive, or am I going to just stream? Am I just going to watch YouTube random videos? Versus if I wake up early, then will I get more done? And I feel like the older you grow, you'll find that you are more productive in the morning. So it's an easy decision. As a student, I loved staying up at night. I would be in the library till 4 a.m. I used to be a nighttime student. I would finish dinner, go to the library, sit there from 10 to 4, solve like 1,000 MCQs, and go to the go to the hostel room and sleep. I did that for years, but I won't do that now. Like if I have an exam to give now, I would probably wake up early and study. So it's also about how old you are and where you are in your life. You know, I don't want to go back to that late night studying cycle. 5 a.m. is good. Did it all my student life. Now I've become lazy and prefer to go back. I left smoking weed a while back. My anxiety shifted after 3 weeks. I'm embraced to it. Well, so I know that smoking weed is I mean, it happens a lot in medical colleges, all colleges now, I guess. But it's definitely not something that you should do a lot. Officially, you shouldn't do it at all because it is something that goes to your brain. It is a chemical that changes the way you think. It is a chemical that affects your cognitive processes, and you shouldn't do it. As simple as that. And you should definitely not do it to the point where you have to do it. Otherwise, you get anxiety and all that. Because then you're just fucked. I did UG in psychology, in sociology. I want to pursue PG in psychology or neuroscience or anything related to human behavior. I wish to pursue it abroad. I don't have the financial capability. Please guide me. Saurabh, there are neuroscience courses or psychology courses in India that you should look at. I believe that Delhi IGNOU University has a course in psychology, an MA psychology, and you could probably get a even get a long distance course going. Neuroscience, there are a couple of places in Hyderabad and in Delhi that offers masters in neuroscience. A simple Google search will be able to tell you. Going abroad, to be honest, of course, it will take money unless you manage to get a scholarship. But for your initial interest, you can start in India. You can start studying in India, and then as you study, you will gain knowledge and you'll gain access to certain specific courses abroad that you may like to do. And then you can directly mail them. You can directly mail the college, mail the university, and ask them, not even the university, you have to directly mail the professor. So this is one of the difference in Indian education and the for American and UK based education, where the professors have a lot of say. It's not just the university. It's not like a central exam de diya and then government ne decide kiya you have to go. The professors have a lot of say. So if you directly mail the professors and have a relationship with them, have a word with them, and they are advising you, then a lot of doors open up. Online consultation, again for the fifth time, sidwarrior.com or contact@sidwarrior.com. So either visit the website or email, and we can book you an online consultation. How to stop imaginary conversation. Imaginary conversation is very useful. You don't have to stop it. It is your brain trying to clear up certain thoughts. Keep doing it. There's nothing wrong with it. We all do it. I do it all the time. The problem is, of course, like anything else, if you get stuck in it and you can't stop doing it, even when you're talking to somebody else, you're always talking to yourself. So that is a form of anxiety. That's just you getting caught up in a certain habit. And the way to get out of it is actually by journaling, because if you're a lot of times self-talk is because it's not clear enough, and so when you write it down, it becomes clearer. You have a much better idea as to what you're doing and why you're doing it. So try that. Start with journaling. Talk to people about this problem, and then of course if you are not able to figure it out, then speak to a therapist. Can you give any ideas to somebody suffering from OCD? Can you give any tips? No, this is not a mental health disorder tip channel. Sorry guys. We'll talk about mental health a lot, and we'll talk about how to improve mental health reserve a lot. But somebody is suffering from a disease, we are not giving tips on this channel. Shruti is saying that she's most productive at night. It's so quiet. But it's very quiet in the morning as well. If you wake up at 5, 4:35, 5 to 7 is very quiet. All right. Fellas, ladies, gentlemen, I love you all. This was a super fun conversation. We are going to talk to each other soon. बहुत जल्दी मिलेंगे वापस. I don't know if I'll stream again before New Year. I don't think so unless something comes up. But somebody's asked about hair loss again. Go back. बात कर लिया भाई, बात कर लिया. हेयर लॉस के बारे में बात कर लिया. बहुत बात कर लिया एक्चुअली. मजा आया. आर्यन, यस, मुझे मजा आया. We will talk soon, right? Link to the workshop, the Neuro-Marketing Workshop is pinned. It is also in the description. Click on it right now. Check out if you are interested in joining in. If so, I will see you Wednesday evening at 7. If not, I will see you soon. See you guys. I'm not partying on 31st. I'm having a very quiet night with a couple of close friends, and we are going to welcome 2022 in a very nice way. I'm done with New Year parties, man. I'm done with it. Ho gaya. See you guys. Have a wonderful day. There's no reason to hurry. I don't know